So I'm just going to do everything and show you step by step everything I do for the routine as well as all the products that I use. So I'm just wearing like PJs or whatever, sweats, and I have troll doll hair. This is normally how I wear it with no makeup. This is how I go out and like run errands or whatever, but this is how I start when I get ready. So I have my hair up, out of my face. That's like one thing that really irks me is when my hair's in my face and I'm getting ready, or like when I'm getting my hair done like highlighted and you get like the little tickly guys on your forehead or your face. Oh, that irks me. It's like giving me itches right now just thinking about it. Okay, so to get started, I always start with a primer. You can probably see right now, I already have oily skin. It's like shiny and gross. So I always start with a mattifying face primer. If you have drier skin, you might want one that has silicone in it instead. If you're like me and you have oily skin, you're gonna avoid the silicone. That's just gonna add to the oil on your skin. So you want a silicone-free primer. You want a mattifying primer, but one that also works for pores. So the one I'm gonna use today, this is the one I've been using a lot recently, is the Stay Matte Primer from Rimmel London. And this is what it looks like. So this guy is gonna help soak up the excess oil, give a matte finish, and it also helps with like fine lines and pores. I'm going to apply a pea size on my finger or my hand, whatever, and kind of dab it up. And then mainly like your T-zone, that's where I'm most oily, but anywhere that you get excess oil, you're just gonna rub this on in. And primer also helps to keep the product on longer, so you're gonna use less product and get longer wear out of it. You can see right off the bat on applying the mattifying primer, it did soak up the excess oil already and gave more of a matte finish. It also helped with the larger pores that I have around like this area and I guess my T-zone area. It also gives a very silky finish to the skin, so it just makes it feel like softer and not greasy. I hate using that word, but I mean that's what it feels like. So like a greasy hot dog. Now I'm gonna go into foundation. The foundation that I absolutely love and have been wearing a lot recently is the Makeup Forever HD foundation, and that's this guy. I picked mine up from Sephora. You can also get it from Ulta or online. So the thing I love about this foundation is it gives a more of a dewy finish. It's not a matte finish, but since we have the primer, it's gonna be, you know, okay with the oily skin. So I love that this doesn't have any sunscreen in it, and the reason I love that is because foundations with sunscreen in them give a whitewash appearance when you are on film, or if you are taking a picture, like if you took a selfie and your face looks really white, but it doesn't like in person, it's because your foundation has sunscreen in it. So it's getting that reflection off it and causing you to like ghost out. So this foundation is perfect if you're going to be on film, on camera, whatever. Also, if you just like a kind of more dewy finish, I do recommend this one. Application to get this guy on, I'm going to use this guy, my beauty blender. This is a real beauty blender. It comes, this is the packaging, like this. Original beauty blender. If you can invest in a real one, I highly recommend using a real one. It just works so much better. What you're gonna do with your beauty blender, which I know some of you guys already know this stuff I'm saying, but maybe some of you don't. So you're going to take this guy and you are going to dampen him with water. So I have like a cup of water over here, but you can't see it. And I'm just gonna, ooh, did you hear that? Ew. Dunked him in some water and now he's like damp. So kind of just let him do his thing, like get ready. Make sure you squeeze out the excess, and then you can either take a paper towel or like a washcloth or something and kind of just like get any little excess water out, because you don't want to get like water all over your face. You just want this little damp. I feel like I explained that way too much. You want this damp. That's it. I'm gonna take a little paint palette, like legit, this is for like paints. You can get it from like any craft store, but I use this a lot. But I think this is just like a couple bucks. Take my foundation and apply it on this guy, and I use like one little pump for my whole face, and then I'm taking my beauty blender, stippling it on in there, and I'm going to stipple it all over my face. So stipple means dab, which you probably know. So just like that, all over. As you can see, I have really red skin, mainly the T-zone. I also have like problem areas, like I'm breaking out and I'm really scarred. I have a lot of scars on my face. And I also go over my lips and eyes. I hate getting ready without music, so I'll probably sing to myself a lot. I'm not a good singer. Yeah, I would definitely say actually it's a medium coverage, because I'm still seeing like redness in my skin, which I mean, obviously it's probably from beating it with this beauty blender. But I do like more of a full coverage. So if you like a sheer medium coverage, obviously do less. So for this whole routine that I'm doing, just fix it the way that you want it to be that works for you. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly this way. Or also change out products. If you don't like something that I'm using, use whatever you like. Next, I'm going to use a concealer to get rid of heavier scarring or more redness in under eye circles. For my concealer, the one that I love is the Sephora 8-Hour Perfect, 8-Hour Wear Perfect Cover Concealer. And this is in shade 10. And it has more of like a yellow undertone to it because I'm very yellow. Also the yellow is going to help cancel out the pink or the red. Using the Beauty Blender, but this time I'm just going to kind of put it right in there and pick it up through the container itself. So for areas that I get really red, definitely my nose and my cheek area. I feel like I like blush really easily. So mainly like this whole like section is usually what I do. Also I'm just going to hit right here because some little guys are coming to say hello. It's not cute. I'm kind of just doing my whole face, honestly. But again, the coverage is up to you. And I make like this annoying like fake smile, like hey, to get my cheeks to like stand out because I'm annoying. So this whole area now has no redness and I love it. So now that I am completely washed out in one tone, that is the goal with my foundation and concealer. I like to get rid of any like imperfections that are going on and just be one all over tone, whatever. Get my canvas ready is what I always say. Now I'm done with my color correction and I'm going to set it. So I'm going to use a powder for this, and the one that I've been using a lot lately is the Smashbox Photo Set Pressed Powder in the Eyewear shade Light. And it just looks like this. Oh no! I actually use one of my favorite brushes. This is the Sigma Round Top Kabuki F82. And it looks like this. It's literally a round top kabuki. And if you're wanting to get it, I have the link in my description box. If you already have it, you're awesome, so hey. So I really like this one. It's very compact, so you're gonna get the consistency that you want and the, what is the word, blending, I don't know. You're gonna get a very airbrushed looking flawless skin finish. Yeah, we're gonna make that work. So I'm just going to take this F82 Sigma and I'm going to kind of give it a little swirl in my powder, whatever powder you're using. Make sure you top off any excess so you don't get all over your dégagé. And you're going to buff. So you're going to do little circles to set the cream or liquid that we have applied. And you're going, this is very repetitive, you're going to just literally like swirl, buff, and we're swirling and we're buffing. You can also use a translucent powder if you'd like, especially if you are on the like super dry side. You can use translucent instead, just because it's going to be like a little bit lighter of a texture to it. And again, don't forget to get your hairline with this and your jawline, your mouth as I try and talk to you, and your eyes. Love your face evenly. Oh, my little eyebrows, non-existent. And the color matches better too. I know I use a pretty light shade in my concealer just to really get rid of that redness, but I also go with a lighter concealer to give a highlight. So this powder matches the rest of my body more so than the concealer we used. We have the even tone, we have the matte finish. Now we're going to put the color back into the skin. So what I'm going to do is contour, and I'm using a bronzer for this. I'm using the Benefits Hoola, looks like this, in its little box. It's just like a matte, and I emphasize matte, not shimmery or glittery or whatever term you want to use for shiny. A chocolate color, I guess. It's more brown than orange. It doesn't have like a red tone to it. These other brands in general really have a like a burnt orange tone to it, and that can turn your face really red, which I just spent 20 minutes talking about how I really hate how red my face gets. We're going to contour using the brush it comes with, which looks like this. I have like 2 contour videos or whatever, but I will go through it again real quick. I'm not going to go in as depth, but real quick. What you do is you're going to find your jawline by either sucking in your cheeks like this, or if you just clench your jaw down, like squish your teeth together, it like stands out. See right there? See the little shadow? The natural like indent of the face? I'm using like real legit terms today. I hope this is making sense. So you're just going to clench and so awkward. You're gonna like clench your jaw or suck your cheeks in and find that little area, which I know this is super dark. Don't worry, we're not keeping it that way. But so you can see, this is the same area that this side is when you clench your jaw. See how it lines up? Alright, and you're gonna like do like a flick, I guess, because you don't want the harsh line that I blatantly just created. And you're going to just kind of buff it out. And when you do this, you're going to want to move upwards because you want the shadow to stay in the natural area. So again, the bottom of the ear to the top, like this little triangle area. And I would say, I guess it's like the end of my eye. That's where I'm going to kind of end it and kind of like buff it out. And then I also frame my face with it. So I'm not like dipping it back in. I'm still using what's on the brush as well as in this little like area that we created. And you're just going to shape your face with contour. So any area that you darken is going to sink in and any area that's lighter is going to push out. So it's going to stand out more. We're just like sculpting our face basically. And also putting color back into it because it was like super one color and pale. Now my cheekbones are done. I'm going to do my jawline. Same thing. You're going to find your jawline, which you know where your jawline is, I hope. You're going to put this on your jawline and just blend back and forth. One thing I also do want you guys to know is with the contour and highlight, you want the contour to be specifically the jawline and the cheekbone area. You want to leave this highlighted and this highlighted. So these 2 areas right here, you want these to be brighter. You don't want like this whole dark area because then you're gonna look like you have like a beard or something. So B is not for beards in this case, but normally I am. So now for my nose contour, I'm going to use a different brush. I'm using this guy and it's from Sephora and I really hate when brushes do not have the number or name on them. It really irks me. I've posted on Instagram before if you follow me. But it looks like this. It's just like a flat top, really like compact. It's pretty thick. You're going to want to bring in the bridge and shorten the end part of the nose. So when you shorten it, you're going to place the bronzer wherever you want the nose to look like it's shorter or like pointing downwards. And in between like each time I put the bronzer on, I'm just going to use my pinky or finger to kind of blend it and soften it, but you can also use your beauty blender for that. So for the bridge, I'm just going to create a straight line and pull it back and then up against the I don't know what this is. What is this called? Is there like a term for that? Like eye socket? Is that the word? Oh my god. You're gonna bring it, oh I look crazy. You're gonna bring it back towards the socket where the eyebrow starts. So it creates just a very slender, same thing on this side. Everyone's face shape is gonna be different. So your focus point or your problem area, whatever you want to call it, is going to be different than mine. So just tweak it to whatever fits your face. So now for them brows though, I'm using, this is a whole new routine that I'm doing, kind of, from my last one. Normally, or for a long time, I was using the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette and the shade in Faint, which looks like this. I do like really dramatic, very defined brows. If you're not a fan of that, use a different color or a different product. Or if you have very dark, thick brows, whatever, like you can skip this. You don't need to do this. But I have like no eyebrows. I was not like blessed in that area. This is my natural hair color. what you see on my eyebrows. Like it matches my root color, which is still pretty light. So because I'm naturally blonde, I guess I just don't get eyebrows. It's really not fair. I'm using one of my new favorite products, and this is the, I mean, I guess everyone's kind of using it now, so it's not like I came up with this idea. I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in shade Blonde. This is what the color looks like. It's actually darker than I thought it would be. This will literally probably last me like so long because you just need a little bit of this. So I'm just going to dip in my brush, and this has become one of my new favorite brushes too because it's so small but so compact. I hate when they're like super flimsy or like too big. Like an eyeliner one is just gonna be like crazy looking. And then you can kind of just get the excess off on the lid if you need to. I'm gonna bring you on in. We're gonna get real close and personal on my brows. So this is my sad little natural blonde brow. Hey there, little guy. Like a little sperm. So we're just gonna draw a thin line from the beginning towards the back, which, I mean, this is a thin line, but I have no eyebrows, so it looks super thick. But it is a thin line, or it's supposed to be. And all the way back to the arch. So for the arch, I actually pull this up. Once the main line is all the way up to the arch that I'm going to create, I'm then going to work backwards. I do the tail at the end. So I'm going to take the brush and create another line on the top. We're sort of like framing the hairs, I guess. And just pull it back towards the arch that we made. And then I'm also just gonna start to fill this in. I'm not applying more color to the brush, I'm just using what we already applied to the brow. And there is a crazy hair right here, and if I don't get it, it's going to drive me insane. Toodaloo. Ow! Got him. So from the top of the arch, I'm going to bring this down. And I'm following the shape of my eye socket, the indent of the nose to the beginning of the brow, and then I'm taking the tail of the brow to the end of the eye, like this. So you're gonna bring it down all the way till it matches, like if you were doing a winged or cat eye, that's where it would go. So that's how far I bring it down. And then I'm going to kind of round off the arch. I don't want it like super like triangle-y. There are like many shapes of brows, so you're just gonna kind of have to figure out what works for your face shape or your preference. But this is the difference so far before concealer or before carving them out. You can see the huge difference not only in size but color and I mean everything. They're just totally two different brows. I try my best to get my eyebrows even, but for the life of me, I don't really think they've ever been perfectly symmetrical. Like, I'm not even gonna lie about it. So now that the fill-in part is done, I'm going to use the concealer we used in the beginning. Again, the Sephora 8-Hour Wear concealer. And I'm going to use a very small brush. This is the Precision Concealer from Bare Essentials. I think I'm getting sick. My voice is like cracked like a 14-year-old boy. So this is the brush that I use for carving my brows. And it's like super little, so you're gonna have a lot of control with it. I'm just going to kind of like tap it and then pull. And you're gonna get as close as you can to the line that you created to clean this up. And it'll also help it from bleeding, like if it's like humid or hot out. And it also cleans up any excess fallout you had or any excess like smudging. And it just makes them look awesome. And I'm gonna like really concentrate and not speak right now. That carve though. Just pull it back, give it that little archway, and then flick it on down. And you can kind of just pull the excess concealer down towards your eyelid because you don't really need it just chilling up there. And then for the top, I'm going to follow the same line, like above it. And again, you can just like pull up and back. So you can see like how much more defined and like dominant this one is. It just really stands out more and it just looks like so much cleaner. To set it, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, and I'm using Foxy, which is this very matte yellow eyeshadow. If you are more of a beigey pink undertone, you can use Bisque, which is the one right next to it. It's like a pinkier color. I'm just gonna tap this over the concealer we just applied. You're just gonna look like you have fierce Beyonce brows without even trying. But my routine to get fully ready, like full face, what I'm gonna show you, without me rambling and talking and with me like being able to sing and jam out to Pandora, takes me, no joke, like 10 minutes. I mean, once you figure out your routine, you know, it doesn't take long. So that's everything for my brows, which are looking on point, if I do say so myself. Now, I'm going to move on to highlight, which I know, some of you might have been wondering that, like why didn't I do the highlight when I did the contour, but I like to do my brows first because this is a highlight. So I highlighted around my brows and then I'm going to highlight the rest of my face. That's just like the way I do it, but you can do it however you want. So still using Foxy and the tapered little brush guy, I'm going to highlight. So for my highlight, I'm going to do right down the center of my nose, a very thin line. I'm not, you know, going over the contour that we already applied. So this is just going to help to give some more contrast to the area that we contoured. And then I'm also going to apply it right in the center of my chin, like the little indent area. You're not really going to notice it that much, but just so it's even, I guess I put it there. And then my forehead area I don't really do because I did the brow area, but if you want to give a little bit of highlight, you can do it there. But the main area that I focus on is the cheek area. So this whole, like, fatty little cheeky guy I'm gonna do. And you can like stipple it with a small brush like this, or use your Sigma and like try your best to get it just in that shadow. I mean, the other ones are fine to use as highlight too. They're all like super light. And I'm going to, instead of buff or swirl, I'm gonna just like pat it. So now your highlight and contour is done. Okay, so then for the next thing that I do for highlighting, I know I said like my highlight's done, but this is like my canvas. This is my base. This is everything I do before I go into like the art part. This is the part that I have to do before I get artistic, I guess you can say. So anytime I ever say in a video that my canvas is ready or already done, this is everything I've already done. Well, my main base highlight, as you can tell, is a matte. Now I'm going to add a dewy finish. So I'm going to use two highlighters for this. The first one I'm going to use, this is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. It has just like this bronzy gold champagne tone to it. The Sigma Angled F84. So it's just like angled. It's just like a little bit fluffier and less dense than the tapered one we just used. From the contour that we did and up. So your contour is the lowest point you're going to bring this. Think of this, I guess, as your contour's highlight. And then your highlight is going to be a lighter one. So your contour highlight, I'm going to place right on top, literally just like pushing it on top of the contour we already applied. And I'm bringing this all the way to my cheek, like apple. And I'm not blending this, I'm just stippling it. So hopefully you can start to see a difference with more of a glow. I'm going to do the highlight, and for that I'm using another one of my favorites. This is the Flawless Radiance from Bare Escentuals, and this one is more of like a yellowy champagne tone. I'm going to focus this on the highlighted area, so the place that we put the Foxy eyeshadow, that's where you're going to put this guy, so more close like to the eye. And same thing, you're going to... I have too much. You're just going to stipple it. So this is, I guess, legit right on top of your cheekbone. Oh, it's so highlighted! It's more, I guess, of a, like an ombre highlight. I mean, I don't know how else to really explain it because it really does go from like this super bright, light, angel, iridescent, angelic look. It's a lot of terms I just used. To like this more I don't know, like bronzy, but it does fade. I mean, and when you move your face or catch the light in different areas, it's just gonna look so beautiful. So now I'm all highlighted and dewy and youthful. Still looking a little trollish, but I'm like flawless skin troll. I'm not red breakout skin troll.